What's up guys, it's Patricia from TarantulaHeaven.com. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is where I put out videos every single week about tarantula facts, weird things about tarantulas, anything tarantula related, every single Tuesday for Tarantula Tuesday. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and joining me for this week's video adventure, which is where I talk about the games that my tarantulas play with me. And before we get too far, Miss Spidey, who is my G-Rosea, she is right here being cute. I hope you can kind of see her. She's been in her glass dome all day. This is where she likes to hang out all the time. So maybe she will move, maybe she won't, but that's where she will be and that's where you can look. I also apologize for any meowing that might be in the background. I hear outside my bedroom door that the jealous cat is now awake from her nap, and she is currently crying every now and then because she wants to be a part of this, but because Spidey is over here right now, she cannot. So I've spoken a lot in a lot of my videos about whether or not tarantulas have the ability to play with things, or whether this is just them randomly interacting with their surroundings. I have two tarantulas, Spidey right here, and then Blinky, who's my little sling, and I tend to give them little things in their tank just to see what they do with them. And watching how they interact with these things has been at the core of my observations about tarantulas, because I'm trying to figure out what drives their behavior. Now, as a disclaimer, I actually don't believe that tarantulas have the brain power or like the biological bandwidth to actually have fun or play games, but considering how little we actually know about these creatures, I can't say that with 100% certainty. And I've personally watched a lot of things from my tarantulas that have made me kind of wonder what is actually going on. And I wanted to share the games that I have witnessed from my tarantulas. So Blinky, my sling, who's an Arizona blonde, has recently, and they've done this before, but it's been a lot more recently, been engaging in this terrible little game where I will fill their water dish and then they will fill it with dirt. This is something that Spidey actually used to do a lot, and it makes me wonder if Spidey has been teaching Blinky their ways, or if Blinky has observed this. You know, I know it's just a regular tarantula behavior. Lots of tarantulas do this, but it's just funny that both of them are doing it. And I don't know why Blinky does this. It is like clockwork. If I fill the water dish, a few hours later, there's going to be dirt in there and there's not going to be any water. So it's really, really interesting. And I've been trying to figure it out. Like maybe the water is interfering with how the tank feels. You know, maybe it's a little bit too humid. Maybe the temperature is not right or something. I cannot figure it out, but it just seems like this spider does not want water. And many other tarantula owners really want to know, what is this about a clean water dish that just makes them have like this indescribable urge to fill it with dirt? Or like, what is that drive that whenever a tarantula notices that there is like a bowl in their tank, that they just need to fill it or do something? Because Spidey does that too, and it's just so bizarre. And so this game that I was playing with Blinky got even worse, got even more out of control, because after several days of us going through this back and forth thing, Blinky actually ended up using their water dish as part of their tunnel system. So Spidey, she will dig. She's got a little ditch going on in the back of her tank. Don't know if you can see that, but Blinky actually tunnels, and they make these really elaborate, amazing structures in their little enclosure. And they love to have their food, like their little roaches, go down there, and then they're trapped. It's this really evil thing, actually. But Blinky is a master at these tunnels. And what I noticed is that one day I came in the room and Blinky had actually made the location of their little lair underneath their water dish. So now it was like getting even harder for me to fill the water dish without disturbing what they were doing. Blinky's far from the only tarantula to do this. Tarantulas tend to, at least some of them, have these really inconvenient ways of making their burrows in their homes with things that their owners need. This is just something that tarantulas do. So if you're gonna get a tarantula, just be prepared that they're gonna make sometimes they're going to make your job as a tarantula parent very difficult. And so the game intensified because after they made their burrow with the water dish, a day or two later, they actually completely buried the water dish and was still using it as a very important part of the burrow. So there was literally no way for me to fill in the water dish or unbury it without I had to be very careful to uncover it and fill it without ruining the tunnel. So Blinky 1, me 0. This was really, really difficult, and I ended up, very, very carefully uncovering it and was able to fill it. But I know that it's just a matter of time before I see dirt in that water dish again, or they bury it even deeper. This tarantula just doesn't want a water dish. It's ridiculous. And Spidey's up to her own games as well. So while she has been better about letting water actually stay in her water dish, which is really, I'm glad that she has grown out of that phase. I'm sure she'll be back to doing that again, but at least for right now, she she's not interested in filling her water dish with with dirt anymore. So she has actually been making a mess out of her tank. And Spidey will do this a lot. She will go through inactive periods and then she will be highly active. And I think because it's spring/summer, I don't know, while I'm filming this, we're still in quarantine, so I don't know. I have no concept of time anymore. But she was being very active and she was digging a ditch back there. And if you can see, I had given her a jar lid during one of her water dish phases because she didn't have a water dish because she kept filling it with dirt. So I gave her a jar lid for her water. The jar lid just ended up staying in her tank because she liked to fill it with dirt too. So she ended up digging up her jar lid and then kind of leaning it against her glass dome that she likes to hang out with, and she filled that with dirt. And then in the process, she uncovered her bottle cap, which I don't know if you can see it, but it's currently being buried again. And so this was actually buried for months. And she dug it up, found it, moved it to a different area of the tank. I believe it was probably over here where her ditch was. It's over here now, and it looks like she's trying to bury it again. So I don't know, my tarantulas just love to make these crazy things happen in their tanks. They're like always redesigning what they're doing. I really don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to what they're doing. I think it's hilarious, and it's really interesting how my tarantulas have these like behavioral patterns that they do. I mean, I guess in an enclosure there's not really much that they can do, so maybe that's why, but it is interesting that they have these behaviors, and just sometimes the things that they do is just so silly, weird, or ridiculous that it makes me wonder, like, what is going on in their spider brains? What is behind this? Is there a method to the madness? Is this like some weird form of spider play that we just don't know about yet? So I don't know. I'm still observing. I'm still learning. I think we all are. This is a kind of an understudied part of science or biology, tarantulas. So yeah, I will keep updating you guys. But anyway, if your tarantulas have some really weird behaviors that make you think that, perhaps there's something to this, let me know. I'd be highly interested in hearing what other people experience because, yeah, it just puzzles me and it's just very, very strange. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this, please subscribe if you're new, or share it with a friend who perhaps has a tarantula or is interested about learning in tarantulas. And if you want to learn more about spiders and tarantulas, I do have a tarantula guide, which you can get on my website. You can also sign up for my Tarantula Tuesday newsletter so you don't miss a video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys are all well, happy, and safe, and I will catch you next week. Bye-bye.